Welcome to Uncle Karl's Crazy Real Estate Stories, where we discuss all the real deals that we are making happen in the trenches. This is no guru bullshit. This is real estate investing in the trenches, from guns to goats, lawsuits, police, and motorcycle gangs. Let the stories begin with your hosts, Uncle Karl and Stas Kostadinov.
Again, thank you for having me on my show.
Yeah. So what's been going on with you, man? Tell us about everything.
Oh, we're doing quite a few deals. We got a deal closing out next week. It's gonna be $180,000 deal. We just closed out on a $90,000 deal. We're picking up some really big spreads and got some $40,000 and $50,000 deals. We're basically cashing out on about $600,000 worth of deals over the next 90 plus days. Now, a lot of these were deals that we worked on. One deal we started on 2 years ago, where we got some land and assembled it, and I'll talk about that more in another podcast. But so a lot of these things have taken a lot of time, and some of them we've had to hold, and some we had to straighten out the titles. But now we're starting to cash out, and it's about approximately $600,000 over the next 90 days we're cashing out.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good, man.
Yep.
You gotta up it to $1 million, I think.
Yeah, this year will easily be over $1 million cashing out.
Yep.
So it's been a blessed year. I'm really, really happy for it. So
Love it. So let's get to the episode that we're going to have, where we decided to have an episode on the 7 pillars of success, right? For real estate investing.
yeah, basically what we had done, last time we talked a little bit about the mindset, and we're going to talk about the actions in the mindset, both what you need to do to land these big deals. These have not been easy. Our deals, every single one of these, we've been stopped. We thought the deal was dead or close to dead. And, we're going to talk about what it takes to really get through these deals and what it takes to get them. And the difference between what we do and other people. I think that's important.
Well, tell us now, talk about the action steps that people need to take in order to land the big deal that you're talking about, 180,000, 90,000, and 240,000, and whatever whole deal that you have done.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm going to talk about some of the different ways, but we go into a lot more in depth in the mastermind group. Stas and I have this mastermind group. It's $105 a month. You get 4 Zoom meetings where we go into a lot more into detail, a lot more and then you can ask questions, and we really dive deep into how. So I'm going to tell you some of the stuff here, but if you really want to learn in a more in-depth way, join the mastermind. It's called Uncle Karl and Friends. It's really, and we had like the other day we had David Day. He's done over 2,000 deals and really creative stuff. I thought I was a badass. Well, he's a super badass. So it's not just me; it's other folks on here sharing. Like, they're sharing the gold nuggets, what it takes to get these deals, how to find them. So, like I said, it's only $105 a month, and there's also the what else is it? The Facebook. So, but I'll get back to the 7 pillars of success here. The very first thing, and I think this is so important, everybody just wants to throw out an offer. Oh, I'll give you $200,000 cash. I'll do, I can, what if I can pay all cash and close quickly? And that's an important question. But the most important thing when you first start talking to people is you got to find out about their situation. Okay. You have to ask questions and you got to listen. Don't be talking about what you can do. Don't be talking about how you're Billy Badass and you got a bunch of cash, because that may not be what's going on. You want to be able to ask the questions and just sit back and listen. Because a lot of times what happens is they'll tell you something that can lead to a solution. So stop trying to be Billy Badass. Ask questions, listen. That's one of the most important steps in the business. I think you got to start out with that.
And to help them too, not only look for your benefits in the deal. You got to look for solving their problem so you can make these big deals.
And then that's super important. I don't look at these people as sellers. I don't go, oh, this is a seller. These are my customers, okay? And this is real important. Without the people that have these issues or whatever, you wouldn't have an opportunity to make money. So you need to treat everybody with respect and to help them. Even if you don't get the deal, we approach each deal as how can we help them? How can we leave them in better the customers in a better situation? I think this is one of the
found them, right?
I'm sorry, was that?
We try to basically get our customers to leave them in a better situation that we have found them in.
Yes, and to solve their problems. This is one of the big differences, I think, between us and our competition is they're just trying to get for themselves. They're not looking at it as how can I help this person out? What is their problem? How can we solve it? And I think that's a huge difference. If you start approaching it that way, as everybody's your customer and treat them with respect and help them, that's one of the mindsets that's going to help you get some of these big deals. And then I'll go back and I'm going to share a couple of the other ones. So that first thing is asking the questions, listening. And then I think you also have to be curious too and build the rapport. You don't fake it, but find out about their children, what's going on with them. You have to build some rapport, but I'm naturally curious about stuff. So I think that's also important. Now, the next step after that is as you listen to them and find out their situation, I don't like to just throw out offers. I like to collaborate with them. I look at it as a collaboration. Like, okay, so this is your situation. What if we do this? You said you need $10,000 right now to move out and get an apartment and you owe $50,000. What if I were to give you $10,000 now? How much would you need a month after that? And you collaborate with them. You bring them in on solving the problem. I think that's also important. And then, you also have to be creative. Like, how much money you need now? Can you take it over time? So you got to have those creative juices flowing. And then the next step is being persistent. A lot of our deals too, we go after people that they put their head in the sand. And I'll go into this as these examples is we keep leaving notes on the door, or we knock. We of course we knock on the door. We leave notes. We call and find that line between persistence and stalking. You got to and then you also every one of these deals we're stopped at some point. Something like the deal's pretty much dead. Then you have to pivot or deal with there's an obstacle in the way, and you've got to be able to get through it, around it. So that's another important. And then also, here's another thing too. You need luck, but I think you create your own luck. If you're out there, you're talking to people, you're whatever, you need a little bit of luck on these deals too. And I'll admit it. But then you know what? All the people are like, Karl, you're always getting lucky. Yep, we get lucky a lot. And I think you make your own luck.
Of course. It's awesome. So, can you tell us a little bit about the deal that you just picked up that lots of the investors were going after, but you got it, and why?
Yeah. There's this one deal that everybody was going after. It was a HOA foreclosure, homeowners association foreclosure on a condo, and everybody and their brother was going after it. So this is what happened. And it was HOA foreclosure, it was a homeowners, okay? We had our paralegal pull the property and was free and clear except for the homeowners. And in North Carolina, it's an upset bid period, which it's been sold at the courthouse, but someone can still bid, and you have a 10-day period, and this could go on for a while. So we sort of came late to the party here. It was already sold at the courthouse and stuff. So what we did, but there's in the 10-day redemption period and got bid again. So the first thing, we called the owner. We skip traced the owner. We called him, and we left messages. We left texts. Okay, we kept trying to do that. We left notes. We door knocked, and nothing was working. Deal, okay? So we couldn't get through. We were like, go. We skip traced his mom, okay? And I called his mom. I texted his mom. I even drove to where his mom's house was, but she's in a gated community. I couldn't get in. So I kept leaving messages, and I kept texting, okay?
Okay.
And then and I'm gonna give you a little tip here. This is a really cool little thing. It works. But what I do is, let's say the guy's name was Frank and his mom's name was Sally. So in my phone, I saved her number as Sally, Frank's mom, HOA foreclosure, and the address. So
That's
what happened?
good.
See, it's important. This is a small thing because I get so many calls and I don't answer a lot of them. So when I saw Sally was calling me, I picked up the phone. I was actually at lunch with a buddy of mine and sort of doing a meeting. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I got to grab this call. So I was talking. So I picked up the call, and this is where I got lucky. His mom said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to call Frank. I accidentally called you." And this is where you got to keep things going. I said, "Oh yeah, let me, he has your son has lots of options. We can help him, and I kept, and then she just opened up and told me the long story. We bonded. We talked a lot about it. And I said, look, please have him give me a call. There's options for him. She explained that she couldn't help him anymore, that she's helped, and that there were some other issues, that I won't really go into. But by listening and talking, and then this was lucky. She accidentally called me because she was calling Frank. So
you make you make your own luck.
You do. You make your own luck. If you're out there, you're putting it out. You get. So we got lucky. So then the next day, he called me, and we sat down. And then here's the thing: is the first thing I said, tell me about your situation. Do you have the money to reinstate it? He's like, no. I said, okay. Do you want to keep it? And he goes, because we can, why don't we meet? So we ended up set up a meeting, and, I got a little information, and at the meeting I said, what's, he goes, look, I said, do you want to keep it? Because you have options. I said, you can also declare bankruptcy, that can stave it off. You can possibly borrow. So we always go over the options. This is so important. It's like,
that is important, because a lot of people just don't go over the options. They tell them what they can give them, and that's it. And that's why a lot of people don't get their deals, because they don't go over their options.
Yeah. And we truly
don't build trust.
Yeah. And you truly want to see everybody in a better situation. Like, if his best option was to stay in it, and he could have, that's what he should have done. We do a fair amount of deals where we don't make any money. We sit down with people, and they're able to stay in their property or come up with a solution. And that's what we do. We're providing options to solutions. So he basically said, I don't have the money. I need to move on with my life, and I said, okay. So at that point, we gave him two different options. One is like an all cash. The other one is a deal where he got a little bit of cash and money over time. So, we ended up.
Which one did he pick?
Well, he took the one. The one was going to be like some money down, small amount, like $5,000 down, and the other one's going to be the money over time. But then he called back, and he changed his mind and said, I'll take the all cash. So we met the next day. We got the deed. we knew that I did the title search. Okay. So I knew that it was free and clear. So I bought a check for $5,000, gave him that, and then we were on deed. And then here's the thing where, we talked about, you got to always be solving problems. And this guy, I really like him. He's a really nice person, but he's got some, I don't know, demons, but some issues that he has to deal with personally that he's trying to get, So what happened was he was still in the property, and then he went dark on us for 30 days. Okay. We kept calling him, texting him, went to his work, called back his mom again. And,
what happened? He was like 30 days, and you
30 days he's supposed to move out. And we're like, oh. So I kept leaving more notes, stuff like that. And eventually he called back and said, okay, I'm in a tough situation. I don't know where to put my stuff, and I don't know personal stuff. And you can leave everything there, take what you want, and he ended up moving out and leaving the keys for him. And he's and he's a really nice guy. And here's the thing too. Like I said, he was going to lose everything if he wouldn't have made a move. So, and then this is what I like too. I'm gonna read the text that he sent me.
Please do.
He says, "I'll be out of the house by 9 a.m. Thursday." And another thing too, we also sat down too, and we just talked a little bit about his situation, options. And I told him, I said, look, I lost everything in 2008. I went through some major depressions, which I did in college. So I've been in, of course, I lived on my mom's couch for a while when I had $7. I said, look, you can start over. You can, you can make a difference in your life.
I love this.
Because he can, because I really, I said, I know you're in a tough spot now, but I was totally broke. I share my situation. I was totally broke, living on my mom's couch. I had nothing. So, what do you want to? And he says, yeah, I was giving him hope, saying, look, you're in a temporary situation. You can get out of this. Is just temporary. I said, I was 51, and I think he's like in his 40s. I'm like, look, you can make changes in your life. So we talked a lot about life and different options. So this is what he said: I'll be out of the house by 9 a.m. Thursday. I'll leave the keys under the mat. Thank you, Karl, for being so caring. You have no idea how you have helped me in so many ways. Thank you. So wow. I love it when we can make a difference in people's lives, and that's important to me, because like if he wanted to stay, we had options to stay, but he needs to go in and take care of some stuff. And he's got some issues right now that have to be taken care of. And, but really nice guy, really good person. So I was, and this is the reason we got the deal was he's a customer. He's not just some kind of seller, and he's a human being in a tough position. I think I was talking to George, who's on our mastermind, and he said, Karl, you have empathy. You're not, and that's the difference between you, on these people. And I said, well, I've been in rough situations. I know what it's like. I lost everything. I had foreclosures and everything in 2008. So I understand what it's like to be down. I can relate to that. And I also, I'm trying to give people hope is true that you can rebuild. I've done it, and I think that's super important when you're dealing with people. So I don't know for sure what we're going to make in this condo. I think we're going to renovate it and put it in the market. I think it's going to be probably a $50,000 to maybe as high as $70,000 deal. I really don't know the numbers. I know everybody goes, you should know the numbers, but I don't. But it's going to be somewhere in that, probably a $15,000 renovation and put it back out there and stuff. So, but
I love the story, man.
Yeah, and like I said, I love we can make a difference. But this is just part of the success, the 7 pillars of success. What you have to do, to get these deals. And it was persistence, pivoting, and whatever those rest of the things are, curious, asking questions, the collaboration with them to come up with an offer. And then I got, there was the luck. The mom called me by accident,
Yep, yep.
So,
And you also listen to him and try to solve the problem.
yep. And
That's the
also
option.
and his mom was also very, she kept saying, thank you for getting involved. Thank you, because he would have been padlocked out in the next week, with nothing. So
Yep.
it turned out to be a really good situation. I love when we can end deals. They don't always turn out like that, but
Yeah.
so that was the example there.
Well, let's tell us a little bit more about like another story that you may recently close or just closed that you use these pillars of success that helped you to get through the deal.
Okay, here's another one. It was HOA foreclosure. Okay.
Okay.
You'll see the pattern here. And what we did is we left note after note after note after note on the door. We
Yeah.
called and called and called. And then you got to be careful with this. After this, we called the relatives too. So
Yeah.
messages from relatives. This was vacant. So we kept leaving notes of relatives. And then Maria, she's our life coach that works for us. She's one of our joint venture partners, and she's badass. But she
Yeah.
sent handwritten letters out to where we thought she was living and her family. Okay. And then this is what happened. So like, we're not really getting anywhere. And then this is what happened. One of the notes was taken by a neighbor, and they called one of the relatives, and the relatives also received the handwritten letter. So
Right.
they called up Maria, and they said, hey, let me tell you a little bit what's going on. This lady's been through something traumatic. She's barely functioning. She moved out. She has a caregiver boyfriend that's helping her through this deal, So, Maria was very patient with them, and she kept, and one of the things too, they asked her, like, I think it was one of the father said, of the lady said, well, talked about his daughter. So look, she's in a really tough situation. She's very functioning right now. And, and he asked about the life coach. She goes, oh, you're a life coach. Okay, great. So I think she used her skills to, talk, and she's very caring. She's, she's all about giving back. And if you get to meet Maria, you'll realize that she really does care about people. So, she's talking to the guy that's the caregiver, and we're going through the options and everything. And then they said, well, what do you want for it? I think it was like they wanted the payoff and stuff plus 25,000. She said, okay. So then we got the contract, sent it to her. And what is important is sometimes you got to know when to push, and sometimes you got to know when to just sort of back off. So it took us like 3 weeks of still going through this before they even were ready to sign the contract. Then he called her back, and he said, okay, I want an extra $5,000. And she's like, okay. So we finally got the contract signed, and we finally got everything signed and back, and it's supposed to close out next week. And we also, listen to the situation. She wants rights to go back in condo and get some stuff over the next month. So we'll buy it, and we won't do anything. We won't disturb any of her things, and work with her on her own time. So part of it is this collaboration. Well, we'll sell it to you, but we don't want you to disturb anything for a month.
Right.
So she can go back in and get some of the stuff. And so again, this goes back to what I call the 7 pillars of a successful deal, was the persistence, the asking questions, what's the situation, listening, and then and a little bit of luck. The note got given to the person, and then the father called, and Maria being a life coach, made the difference. And so that's just another example of I think the difference, because that's another deal a lot of people are going after. And I'm not sure what this condo is worth. People are like, you don't know the values. No, I really don't. I have an idea. I think we should be able to fix it up and sell it and make around a $70,000 deal. I think it's going to be. I'll let you guys know on it. But again, this is just following this formula. And we got a little lucky by being the father calling back and Maria being the life coach. Because of the situation she's going through, she didn't want to deal with a lot of people, and then reaching out to the caregiver type person to help get the deal through, and so that's just another example of what I think are some of the difference between us and the other investors, and why we're getting these bigger deals. Are these reasons? So
yeah. Well, Uncle Karl, thanks for sharing all these stories, man. I think that's all these pillars of success for getting the successful deal from start to finish. It's basically that's all these things that you've listed, and I think every deal that you have done so far, there's always at least 5 of these in the deal.
Oh yeah, there's a luck in some of them. There's the different degrees of them, and a lot of these deals are we're almost given up on, and then we keep pushing through. We keep finding different ways.
Persistent, yeah. Gotta be persistent. You gotta be creative on how you approach people. You gotta listen, and all that.
And then you got to change up when one thing's not working. You change and go in a different direction. And so one of the reasons I do this podcast, I'm hoping that this can make a difference for people out there that are doing deals. That, let's say you're struggling a little bit, that you can say, okay, well, this is what it takes to get a deal, and you guys need to implement some of this stuff. This is important. And if you can go after, let's say you can get one $50,000 deal like this, if I help you through this and you get one $50,000 extra deal 4 times a year, that's $200,000 on deals that you didn't give up on, that you found a way, that you use these pillars of success. And then again, join the mastermind group. It's $105 a month. We have 4 Zooms. Where we share slides. It's just not talking. You can see deals and how we put together the deals. If you get a chance, join that. Now, also too, we're working on a course, and it's going to take us some time, but reach out to us. How do they reach out to us, Stas?
I think we're going to make a email for that, but they can reach us out at Uncle Karl's Mastermind Group at gmail.com.
And one of the things that we're going to do on this is we talk about a lot of niche stuff in this course of building out. Like we talk about variances. We've got 2 variances we've done. One we made $84,000. One we make $130,000. We talk about subdividing property. We talk about excess proceeds. We talk about buying partial interest in properties, about judgments and liens. And what's great is I've got 3 different attorneys too that are going to talk about those type things and how to go about doing these deals. Then I'm going to have other people like we got our buddy Jeff Richmond is doing stuff on the virtual wholesaling. So it's not just going to be me in this course. It's going to be other people in areas that maybe I'm not as good at, sharing stuff. And I really believe that this course, if you're a real estate investor, just the normal stuff, if you can learn some of these extra ways, can be an extra $100, $200, even $300,000 a year in profits. So if you guys are interested in the course, I guess go to Uncle Karl's Mastermind Group, and we'll probably put a link or something And it's going to be
Yeah.
3 to 4 months or so before the course is out. But go ahead and say you're interested in the course, and we'll get everybody a discount. We don't even know. We have no idea even what we're going to charge on it yet.
Yeah.
I guess
We're not sure anything yet. We're just planning, and also we're planning on a meeting, a live 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Charlotte, which we're gonna have more news into it later, maybe this or next month, and that's gonna be happening the end of this year. So if somebody is interested in that, also reach out to us. You can just text us, in Facebook. You can reach out. You guys have Uncle Karl Facebook. If you don't, it's Karl Spielvogel, and mine is Stas Kostadinos. So if you guys are interested, just text us. We'll always reach out back to you.
Yeah, and let me give you my phone number. It's 704-995-5385, 704-995-5385. It's best to text, but the event that we're talking about putting on, it'll probably be me, Stas, and maybe one or two other people, and it'll be like we're thinking of having either a hotel or maybe renting a big house, and where we teach and then we all hang out, because like the best thing about events is not the event, it's the networking, getting to know the people. And so our idea is like like either a hotel or preferably like a big huge house, lots of rooms where we all cook, hang out, and share ideas and stuff, because I think that's even more important than the teaching is
collaboration.
I actually learn more from the people at the events typically than I do the teachers. So that's what we're looking at putting together. So text us, let us know. We're going to be working on that sometime near the end of the year, putting that together too. So, okay, Stas, anything else?
No, thanks for everybody that listen to our podcast, and tune in for the other podcast that we're going to have soon. Also subscribe to our podcast and give us a like, share, and I hope you like and enjoy our podcast.
All right, guys. Good luck with business.